Alright, 14th video. You know, a lot of people in the MMA community like to talk about how stacked the bantamweight division. And I can't blame them, Look at how skillful it is, and even claiming it's the most test. Some even go as far to say that it's the most stacked division in the entire roster. And honestly, there could be a solid argument. I mean, we got Marab the Machine, Peter Yan, Corey Sandhagen, Sean O'Malley, Umar Nurmagomedov, Song Yadong, Davison Figueredo. I mean, come on, man. Look at all these names. No wonder why people say that this division is stacked. Even if you want to be a hardcore, you even got Henry Cejudo still floating around. And not only that, but all the prospects coming in, just some names that come off the top of my head. We got Raul Rosas Jr. and Peyton Talbot. I mean, there's just some Felipe Lima. Some others that I can't think of. But, I mean, how could anyone say anything bad about this division? And first glance, you can see why people say this is the most stacked division. But then you forget you get shit like this. Yeah, that's right. An upcoming fight I'm certain so many people are excited about. Let's ask Bedtime MMA what he thinks about this.
Fucking Stalin versus Hitler. Bro, this is one of the... oh my god. Watching these two... fucking, bro. The fact that one of these two fucking jobbers gets to win and move up in this bantamweight division. I'm hoping that there's a fucking double KO in this fight.
Anyways, as you heard there, most MMA fans like myself are so excited for this fight. Okay, all memes aside, I actually was excited for this fight until I saw the fight footage of both these gentlemen. And it's funny, I for the longest time thought Chito Vera was actually very good. And I think he got a lot of undeserved hate because, just because he fluked O'Malley. I generally thought he was an awesome fighter. And I still do like his fights. But then something happened. Again, I watched both these gentlemen's fights in order to prepare for this video. And of course I wanted to start off with the Chito Vera win. And unfortunately came to learn his last win was back in August 2023. Literally 2 years ago against no longer ranked Pedro Munoz. So I was in for a ride. It's safe to say this matchup with Aiemann Zahabi isn't the worst matchup in a ranking context anyway. But anyway, when I watched him versus Pedro Munoz, I'm going to be real. I can see why that fight was split decision. Because Chito in that fight had a very good jab. He had a very nice jab. He was landing it a lot on Pedro. And had very solid inside pocket boxing. And again, particularly landing all of the combos that came from the jab. Like, he would land a jab, uppercut. Or no, it wasn't a jab, uppercut. It was a jab to a body hook. I don't remember which side of the hand it was. I'll go show that in the video. But point is, and he even landed some decent outside leg kicks. But the reason why I say this fight was more competitive than it was, Marlon Vera got kicked a lot in that fight, like a lot. And although he doesn't block a lot of them, unfortunately this isn't the AAUFC video game. You can't block too many kicks, you're just gonna break your goddamn arms. So although Chito blocked a lot of Pedro's kicks, he also absorbed a lot. And honestly, mostly every leg kick Pedro threw, it just landed. Mostly because Pedro was just in his face, pressuring him with kicks, and Marlon would react a lot. That's a huge issue I've noticed with Chito Vera. He seems to just react a lot. He doesn't exactly flow. He doesn't exactly make reads, I guess. Necessarily. He's more of reacting. He won't read that you're, just for example, he won't read you coming in for a jab. He'll more he'll try his best to react, which can work, but I don't know, it could be a flaw sometimes. But anyways, point is, I noticed this problem particularly in... Okay, so I watched some videos for this... No, watched some fights for this video. And Chito Vera, in preparation for this fight, I watched Marlon Vera versus Sean O'Malley. Prior to this, I've never watched it completely. And, I watched the first round... just Sean O'Malley at range, ate him alive with straight shots down the middle with punches and kicks. And that's something I don't think I added here in my notes. Pedro landed a lot of straight punches to Chito Vera's chin. and middle, and he also, not only that, O'Malley caught him with a lot of kicks to the body and legs, and Marlon just couldn't find the rage. He struggled so bad. Sean was just dancing all over him with the footwork at perfect range. It was at this moment where I decided, to save like, what was I, like 20 minutes? Like, I barely was 5 minutes in, or like, I think 7 minutes in. I was at that point where I was like, you know what, I'm gonna save 20 minutes of my life. I imagine it's probably just gonna go mostly like this, so I'm not here. This isn't a video about Sean O'Malley. This is a video about Marlon Vera and Aiemann Zahabi. So, just for time reasons, I'm not gonna go back and watch the rest of that. Trust me, I think I got the gist of that. I got the bit, as one would say. But anyways, point is, he kind of has that Peter Yan problem. Like, he's a lot more stationary, but Peter Yan, though, makes it up with amazing kicking ability as well, which I think is a very underrated aspect of Peter Yan's game. And overall, just creative striking when Peter's in that flow state, because he throws a lot of combos. And the speed is also another fact. Peter Yan's fucking fast. Marlon Vera, I think he's pretty fast for normal people's standards, but when you're comparing it to like Sean O'Malley and Peter Yan, speed's not exactly his strongest suit. And the fact that Peter, also actually has decent takedowns, especially with the trips. But I don't know, man. With Marlon Vera, I mean, he has solid hands when he's in the pocket, but he just struggles to get there because he's just a slow starter like Yan. But again, Yan makes up with this because, again, he's just so fast and he's so dynamic, And with Marlon Vera, I mean, I know he has a couple of head kicks and knockouts and stuff like that, but if you don't just allow him, like, I could see why Corey and Sean honestly just had their way with him. It was just the speed and footwork advantage. That's another thing he struggles with. He doesn't really have the best footwork either, especially moving forward. Like, you can just tell he's definitely more used to going in the back foot. And when you're like way shorter than your opponent, like again with Sean O'Malley, and you're just waiting for him to come in, that's not exactly gonna work. So, point is, even Davison Figueiredo, the one time he got dropped, was with the right straight Marlon Vera to the face, And it's not even that he has bad head movement. He actually hit a pretty solid, like, duck under a lead hook, or some shot like that, and then counter with a beautiful, like, combo from what I remember. It's more the fact that he's not fast in getting his head off the center line. He's, again, against Pedro, when he was able to get his rhythm, like in that little flow state, he was ducking his hooks and landing clean straight rights. But again, that was him ducking, not so much slipping his head to the right or left, So, but I will say this: you let Marlon Vera be inside that boxing pocket range, he will get his rhythm and find nice punches, not only your face but also your body. So it's a tricky situation with Vera. We have a slow starter, someone who doesn't press the action that much. He has great cardio. Like, I mean, this guy has really great cardio, but what's the point if you don't throw? And especially in a 3-rounder, Vera cannot afford to give up rounds, so it's tricky. It's tricky, man. Now, onto Aiemann Zahabi. I actually rewatched his fight back with Aldo, and you know what, man? How I said Marlon isn't very fast. Well, somehow I found someone even fucking slower in Zahabi. But although Zahabi is not as fast with his hands as Chito, which that's I don't think anyone's ever said that. But if you go back to that fight, Zahabi kind of does the same thing as Peter and use a nice blocking game to not really catch punches clean, or he rolls with shots very nice. It's weird. And not only that, but he has very solid jabs and straights himself. So like Aldo was very fast, but Zahabi was able to block a lot of his punches, especially to the punches to the body, which I was very surprised, and return back with straight punches. And not only that, here's the thing why Zahabi's probably a little bit, I would say, probably better than Chito. He actually, shows finishing aggression when he is down, or, a finish is available. Like, he'll actually chase a finish. He won't just wait for it to come around like Chito will. But when he fought, Chito, when he fought Sean, basically did nothing. And again, I know MMA math doesn't work, but we have Zahabi, who beat Jose Aldo, almost finished him. Yes, I am aware Zahabi almost got finished himself, but Zahabi almost finished Aldo too, and also unanimously beat Pedro. And just look at this. Then look at this. So again, I generally have no idea who could win, I'd favor Marlon Vera based on that, you know, he actually will. No, my bad. Not Marlon Vera. I'd favor Aiemann Zahabi probably based on that, you know, he actually will try and is a pretty solid boxer. I'd imagine that this is going to be primarily a boxing match unless Chito throws some solid kicks because he has pretty good kicks. Just primarily that hook kick as well. Oh, sorry about that little mic thing right there. I think I fucked up the mic wire thing. I'll edit that out. I probably won't. You know, Zahabi reminds me of like a Sean Strickland kind of. It's weird, but he kind of does for bantamweight. Like he's really slow, but like his defense is like I said, it's pretty solid. I can't lie. But anyway, so maybe that's something Chito can exploit, right? The kicks, but again, it would be. What do you honestly? It would come down to who do you think has more of a chance? The more faster, but probably the more faster and more powerful offensive boxing of Chito, but doesn't really risk anything, or the more slower but more solid defense and Aiemann Zahabi, and also willing to go forward. So again, like I said, Zahabi reminds me of Sean Strickland style in that both pressure is used in their defense as their offense, because Aiemann Zahabi did get caught off guard by the speed of Aldo, but did very good at pressuring and using his defense when Aldo would throw back to counter his aggression. So I'd favor Zahabi, but it's definitely going to be an interesting boxing fight with 4-ounce gloves for sure. You know, again, this fight's I think in terms of like really competitiveness, this is gonna be a sleeper pick for sure. I'd imagine, like I said, inside the pocket, we're gonna get some really good boxing combos. We're gonna get some really good boxing exchanges at the very least. And knowing Salty Chito, Zahabi might win 29-28, and you know Chito's probably gonna claim he got robbed. So again, that's just my thoughts on the fight. Again, I'm gonna go with Zahabi. I'd imagine the more calm Zahabi, the more I wouldn't even say experienced, but the more willingness to engage for Zahabi is probably going to get him the victory here. So, anyways, thank you guys for watching. Let me know if you guys are excited for this fight. Tell me who you think is going to win down in the comments below. And have a good day. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you, and peace!